September 7th, 2022. Today is ground clearing day. Entering the property at 9:45 Panama time, which is Central US right now. We haven't had much rain lately. We had some maybe about 2-3 days ago. Not much. Saturday, I think it rained mostly all day, but it was a light rain. So everything should be kind of solid out here. No issues that I can foresee. So the workers are supposed to be out here already. I won't be able to tell for sure until I get out here. It is a good 75 to 100 meters away from the road. And you can hear the cicadas in the background. They're very loud here. Much louder than in the States. The stream may be kind of low today due to the fact that it hadn't been raining a lot, but we'll find out in a second. Yep, the stream is pretty low today. Eventually I'll clear some of that out so it can be a lot neater and less cluttered. In case people want to walk along the stream. And there will probably be a bridge somewhere across the stream somewhere. Not sure exactly where until the environmental impact study comes back and they'll tell us where bridges can be placed. The plan is to clear up all of this so that you don't see all this fallen debris, trees, shrubs. This is mostly stuff that was cut down during the surveying process. I think all of the fruit have finally fallen off the tree. Probably look like they've been eaten. There's a few still on the ground. It's nice and shaded. I just passed my contractor on the road, so he says the workers should be out here. It's going to be pretty warm today. Let's see. Now if I go that way, this is a path that leads to the other side of the property, but I don't feel like crossing the stream right here. It's pretty wide. So we'll save that for another day. But I do plan on doing another walkthrough on the other side of the property one day. Just not today. So we're coming up on my favorite tree, the canopy tree. This is one of my favorite spots. this area right here is going to be cleared. This will be where the solar panels go and the septic tank, I believe. I won't know for sure until the engineers come out and tell me the best place for it. I'm trying to listen up on the road because I'm expecting the crane guy to meet me out here to tell me if he can move the containers to the spot I chose temporarily until the foundation is done. The guy who I rent space from, who has my containers, has leased out his land to the construction crew that's going to be redoing the road. So he's a little antsy about me moving them. So I'm going to get them moved by the weekend to the property. And that will at least take the pressure off of me with him. And also, I won't have to pay any more rent for space. I hear the workers up here. Hear stuff being cut. So yeah, they are at it. So I guess you can call this the official groundbreaking day. Clearing is the first stage, then they're gonna dig the hole. Then after they dig the hole, we're gonna start bending rebar and preparing for the cement pylons or post, which are going to be used as a foundation for the container. So all of this will be cleared out. Keeping the vegetation I will do, but I won't do it at the risk of tripping over everything. And as you can see, some of this stuff is cut and it's sharp. So if you fall on it, it's going to impale you pretty much. So, and some of the stuff that's poisonous, if it impales you, you're pretty much on your own. Let's see. We've managed to walk a trail, a path through here. Once I can get the ATVs on the property, I can ride all this out. But until I can get it across the stream, it's going to have to be walked like this. So they're cutting down the space, and it's going to open up. By the time I come back later on today, this area will probably be cleared out. It's already starting to look clear. I'm not going to get in their way. I'm just going to stay here back here. And it's already opening up. So it's going to look completely different when I come back today. It amazes me how fast they can clear an area. So today's walkthrough was short. This is just the first walkthrough. I'll come back and do the second part this evening after they have completed the area. And let's see. There are so many paths and trails that I could follow through this property. I'm just not feeling very adventurous right now. So I'll wait until I have my water boots and my machete and some long sleeves. Those are a must. So I found out 3 nights ago, that I got eaten alive by mosquitoes. Didn't even know it. And it was all around the lower part of my legs, below my ankles. I mean, above my ankles. And so I said, wait a minute, are these mosquito bites or are these ant bites? I really can't tell, but there were so many, they had to be ant bites. So somewhere I stepped in ants, and while I was out working, they literally feasted on my legs. So recovering from that, it was not a good feeling the next morning. I think I must have scratched in my sleep because I woke up looking like I had monkeypox. Let's see. It definitely is warm today. It's humid. It's extremely humid. I did notice that on occasion a breeze comes through. It's a nice breeze. But right now, there is no breeze. The only thing that's saving is the fact that it's shaded. I may just walk to the other side of the property. I don't know. Let's see what this path leads. Is there a way to cross the stream easily? Otherwise, I'll have to go down the other side, out to the road and around. Let's see what we got. So I really don't feel like jumping. Nah. There's a berm right there I could use as a median point, but you have to cross it twice here. Actually, no, you don't. Actually, I could walk this way, and it actually goes around the stream. But anyway, that can be done some other time. There's no pressure to go that way. Every few locations I find where someone has some wood cut, where there are some beams, looks like there was some type of structure at some point on this property a long time ago. All these stumps have to be cut down and cleared out. All this debris has to be cleared out. So my notification just says that it's time for me to drink water. It's bad when you gotta be reminded to drink water. But with the humidity, you'll sweat everything out and not even know it. It'll be nice when I can actually ride through the property on the four-wheeler. I can actually eat up some of this debris. The water's very clear. It's fresh water. So it kind of eliminates me having to have a well dug in case there's a shortage on water of rain, which shouldn't be too much of a problem. Looks like they're firing up the chainsaw to cut down the big tree. So I'm back out at the road. And they've placed these, I don't know what you call them, but they're used for as drain pipes, drain conduits to allow flow of water. So they're going to place them in the ground, which means they're going to tear up this front part to do that. And that's fine. I'm okay with that. But they place them like every 500 meters or so, maybe less. But I came out yesterday and did some weed eating. I couldn't get my weed eater to stay on, so I've got to adjust it. But all this grass has to be cut down, flat and level, and that will make the appearance a lot more pleasurable. But there's an open space in the front of the property, right off the road right here, that I plan on placing the containers until the foundation is ready for the 2-bedroom unit. Now the personal container can stay here. I don't really care as long as I can access it, or I may just have them moved again. But it's a pretty flat space. I just have to find out if the crane can drop the containers in that spot over there. And if they can, it's perfect. But I'm guessing I can access through here by just riding a trail through once I get onto the property and access the container. And I'll have all this cut down as far as the grass and have it really low and manageable so that there's no wildlife trying to enter the container. So I'll walk you to the other end or the very perimeter end of this part of the land. It's got about, if I had to guess, it's well over a 1/4 mile frontage, maybe even more. And it has unique elevations. All this is mostly grass, so it just needs to be cut, grass and weeds. And once it's down, you'll see the flat land, or there's actually a berm on the front. And this is actually a slight hill right here. So this is the bus that comes every 30 minutes. It goes to the beach. So there's transportation to go to the beach every 30 minutes. And there are restaurants down there and other things to do. So now you can actually see where the hill is. Haven't been in there either. But like I said, there's plenty to explore on the property. Still haven't made it to the end yet. The stream comes out and leaves the property here. I honestly don't know where it enters on the property. I'll find out one day. But this is where it leaves the property. And sometimes you can see the fish down there. There are actually fish in there. It's a freshwater stream. It's pretty low. I've seen it almost up to the road. It's gotten that high after a serious rain. So it tells you how much water can accumulate here. So it comes out over here. And the reason it got that high is because somewhere on this property, there's a bottleneck. Don't know where. There's a bottleneck. I think it's because, well, I don't know where or why, but it's a little deeper on this side. It goes somewhere. I don't know where. At some point, it enters into the ocean. Whoa. That caught me off guard. That's the first one I've seen. Is that a python? How did I not see that? I was literally feet from him. Not poisonous. And doesn't look like he's gonna harm me, but it looks like he's big enough to do some damage. So I believe that's a, can't tell. I don't know if it's a python or a boa. Not sure. Fortunately, I saw it. He was just up looking at me, really. He wasn't moving. That's probably why I missed him. I was standing literally feet from him. Never a dull moment here. I think he's just trying to stay out of the direct sun, but get some sun. So I'm gonna leave him be. That is the first snake I've seen here. Fortunately, it's not poisonous, so. And like I say, I'm not gonna bother him or her. I'm just gonna keep it moving and let it be. But it definitely caught me off guard. I'm trying to find my zoom so that I can zoom in, but anyway. Yep. So that was interesting. He's got to be probably about 6 feet. And as I said, I leave the wildlife alone. It leaves me alone. Haven't had any issues. I did run into a lizard that was walking on 2 feet running across the road last night. It was the funniest thing. I've only seen one on TV. But that was interesting. People ask me, what do I do all day, every day? This is what I do. I come out, I meet with the contractor, the workers. I do some work in the container to get it prepped for moving. And I explore. That's my life, and I love it. Oh, and I go to the beach. Haven't been snorkeling since I've been back here, but I'll be going snorkeling. The plan is to get dive certified as well. So, but that's what I do during the day. And during the evening, I regroup. I look at my plans for the property, things that need to be cleaned. I check to make sure I have all my permits and authorizations, because there are some that I didn't know about because I didn't have a contractor over the whole project. I just had things that I learned from people here. So fortunately now, I understand the process for purchasing property, being able to build on property, cut down and clear property, and also when you have to have a driveway or a road done, you have to get an authorization. And before the authorization can be approved, they need an environmental impact study, which basically tells how your structures are going to affect the existing environment, because there's a lot of protected species as far as animals and trees and plants and flowers that they really are stringent on. So they you really do have to go through a few hoops, but it's all worth it. I only have to do it one time. So I actually walked you to the stream and didn't walk you to the end of the property because I ran into the snake, so it kind of threw me off. But that wasn't the end of the property. That was almost the end of the property. It was probably another 20-30 yards. I'm walking the opposite direction to this end. I should have measured it. I forgot to start my my Garmin. So it's a nice little walk though. It's definitely has some frontage. As I stated, I think in the previous video, it's 9 hectares, which is what they use to measure here. And a hectare is 2.471 acres. So the entire property, I believe I calculated at 22.23 acres. Someone made a comment saying, yeah, that's all jungle. Well, yeah, pretty much. But it's manageable. Everything over here at the farm across the street used to be all jungle as well. And look how beautiful it is. So you'd be surprised what they can do with land when they clear it and you replant it. All this stuff that looks like jungle becomes beautiful landscape. So here is the opening of the other parcel that, if you remember my first video, the waist deep fail, I entered here and that's where I actually went through. If you go through about 40 yards, you'll see where I fell in. Well, you won't see it anymore, but that's the area where I fell in. Haven't been back that way since. Even though it's dry enough to probably go, I'm not going to chance it. So I'll deal with that later. But I'm going to keep walking to the other end of the property. Coming up is my pride's and joy, coconut trees. They said there were none on the property, but we actually have 2. And they're full grown and they're about to drop coconuts. So I'm thankful because you haven't had anything until you had a fresh coconut off the tree, cut open, and to drink the water out of it. It's amazing. It's nothing like it. Nothing like it you can buy in the store. This hill, once you go over it, you go down into the property. I thought about having earth movers level it, but there's no need right now. But at some point, I got to figure out how I want to utilize it. Because it makes it harder to get into the property, for one thing. And another thing it does is it creates an angle slope where water can fall into the property. And I want to create as little segues of water into the property as possible and more out of it so that it can drain well. That way it doesn't tax the stream and the areas don't get flooded on the property. So we're coming up on the other end of the property. It's marked with a surveyor's pin in the ground, and it's marked by engineer's tape on a tree and a post. So you can see it right there. Guess I can walk to the top. Nah, I'm gonna wait. It has a fence, and I bought some bolt cutters, but I haven't cut all the barbed wire. So I'm gonna wait until I bring the bolt cutters out here and cut all the barbed wire fence down. So I don't need the fence. The fence is old, it's been here for a while. I don't even know how long it's been there, but the fence goes all the way up the hill and down. So at some point, someone said this was probably a farm or a pasture of some sort for animals. And I guess it could be, being that it has a stream on it. Let's see. One of the reasons I'm hesitant about cutting down taking down the hill is because I don't want them to damage the coconut trees down here, which probably wouldn't because they're level, they're on the ground. But I think there are also some protected trees in there. This tree right here is called a walking tree. It moves, I think, 1 to 3 inches per year from its location. Interesting fact. And there are some that are really large. Here's a better view of coconuts. And I think they'll be down in probably a month or so, some of them. And on this tree, I don't see any yet. But they'll be so low that I'll be able to grab them. So that's good. Let's see. So that was the end, the other end. And I can't wait until they repave the road. So the road to Drago Beach used to be a really good road from what I was told. It was one of the best. But they've had so much construction and people have been buying property and building homes that the heavy equipment has destroyed the road. So they're gonna redo it. They're getting prepared to redo it, but they're trying to wait until a lot of the construction is done. In fact, I'm probably gonna add to that because I've got to have a road built into the property. So there are gonna be some dump trucks coming this way in the next couple of weeks as well. In case anybody's wondering how we get stuff here, things are barged over to the island, I think 2 or 3 times a day, because we are on an island. It's a pretty nice size island, but we are on an island. The barge must be pretty large. I still haven't seen it because one day they brought over 11 dump trucks, large dump trucks. So the barge is pretty large. I guess it has to be large if you can bring over tractor trailers and containers and all that stuff. So I'm going back towards the snake to see if it's still there and if it left the road, because it was pretty close to the road. I don't want anybody to run over it. And hopefully it won't try to get across and get run over. But I also need to go back to the end of the property because I haven't walked it in a while. I think it's going to be Very hot today. Climate normally ranges between 75 and 88 all year. It's been around 86, 85 last month or so. It's been, but you can get really humid, and it may be 85, 86, but it may feel like 90. Depends on whether you're out in it or not. There is a breeze coming right now, so it actually feels pretty comfortable. So as long as you're wearing a hat, protecting yourself, you're pretty good. So I'm trying my best to wait on the transportation guy that has the crane. I don't have a signal out here, so I can't receive a message unless I'm lucky or send him one. So I'll just have to wait. I told him I would be out here. Looks like the snake moved on somewhere. He probably realized he was too close to the road too. Moved on pretty quickly because it's completely out of sight. So I can finish what I was doing before I got distracted by him, which was walking to the other end point of the property. So here we have the end point, and there's a path that was cut by the surveyor that goes down the side of it. So that's the very end. Like I said, it's a lot of frontage. Oh, that breeze feels good. So I'm gonna walk back and ride back to the container to pick up some stuff probably. And I guess I need to get something to eat. I think the snake just came out to sunbathe for a little bit and went back in. I didn't know those were indigenous to the island, so I'll have to check when I get back. So we'll see, because I'm wondering if somebody has it as a pet and it got away. But I could be wrong. Just hadn't read anything about constrictors being on the island. So we shall find out. And there are plenty of rodents out here for it to feed on, so has a buffet out here. It's a nice, beautiful day on Isla Colón, Boca del Toro, Panama. It's hot. I'm sweating right now. So I'm kind of ready to get back to my room, cool off a little bit, get something to eat. I got the second ATV out the container and rode it today. I try to switch them out just so they don't just sit and have that old gas in there. So the blue one is in and the red one is out. And for those of you who probably don't know, they're actually significant. So we both trade Forex. And blue is a bullish candle, red is a bearish candle. So we got a blue and a red. All right, so enough fun facts for today. I'm gonna take it in and see if I can catch up with my transportation guy. Thanks everybody for joining me on this another eventful tour, courtesy of the snake. Until next time.